listen, never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
We talk about it every day.
Getting on baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to wait in line for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
Turn your energy up. I need your energy.
There is nobody on the planet I'd rather be talking to than Julian McWilliams.
Ooh, in a whispery voice.
This is a two-shot is what we call it. We're both on camera at the winter meetings. And we're in the winter meetings. Look at you.
We are here.
You're dressed in case anyone wants to go on YouTube. They can see you in a pink suit. Is that pink?
It's mauve.
Mauve. I was going to say a guave, but yeah, it's mauve. You may be the best dressed person at the winter meetings.
I think so.
Yeah, no,
I'll take it.
I'm not even lying.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I mean, I don't know what you're doing, but
hey, listen. My brand's never been hotter.
It's never been hotter.
Never been hotter. You got to do TV. You got to take it seriously. You got to dress for the occasion. It's winter meetings. We're in Orlando. A lot of stuff's happening. It's not happening. A lot of stuff is happening. We got to be able to take advantage.
All right, so we go into every winter meetings and we say, things are going to happen.
Yeah.
Things are going to happen.
Yeah.
Now, they have a built-in press conference. This is smart. Built-in press conference on Tuesday with Dylan Cease. Congratulations to the Toronto Blue Jays. So you have that at least. You know that you're going to use that. They had a big press conference. Manfred get up there with Nelson Cruz and some other people to do this big press conference about the Dominican WBC team playing 2 games in the Dominican against the Detroit Tigers in the first week of March.
Eyewash.
Oh, sorry. With all due respect to Albert Pujols and the crew.
Yeah. Come on, this is the big leagues.
Yeah, I mean,
this could be safe for spring training. Winter meetings is about transactions, trades, free agency. Let's get to that.
Yeah,
let's get to that.
So when you walk in the hallways, you wake up this morning, you jump out of bed, you run into the hallways of whatever this place is called in Orlando, and what is the thing as we sit here that your biggest takeaway? Because ultimately, as we sit here also, there wasn't any big trades or signings or anything like that, which isn't out of the ordinary on the first day.
Sure.
But what was your takeaway? What was the Julian McWilliams takeaways?
You know what? So I was in the Phillies press conference. No, with Dombrowski. Their media day, whatever. Get together.
Can I?
Go ahead. Yeah, explain it.
So what happens is that every media contingent for every market meets with their front office person, their president of baseball operations, or GM. They go up in their suite and they get debriefed on what's going on. That's what you did. You could choose, because you're a national big shot, you could choose any team. You chose the Phillies and Dave Dombrowski.
I think it's just because of Kevin Gregg. Shout out to Kevin Gregg. Media relations, Philadelphia, Phillies.
Yeah.
Used to be in Boston.
All right.
But, no, the biggest takeaway that I got is that it's so interesting when you think about Dombrowski. He's a guy that typically adds to his teams, but now he's saying, we're not running this back. We can't run this back. And I think that's fascinating, right? They're like, we don't know where we stand with Kyle Schwarber. We don't know where we stand with JT Realmuto. At some point, we're going to have to pivot if we can't get anything done. But we can't run this back as is. And I just find that to be so fascinating because it's what now? He was talking about prospects for the first time. He was talking about Justin Crawford coming up. An arm, I forget the guy's name.
Painter.
So it was a lot of that, and I think genuinely he believes in those guys to be able to come up and contribute at some capacity. But he's like, look, Kyle Schwarber, JT Realmuto, we want those guys back, but we can't lean on that. We can't depend on that. And I found that really fascinating. He said, we cannot run this thing back.
Well, the other part about that is how specific he is.
Very.
Because, we've been in way too many of these things, and it's not just the ones that we've been in, it's most of them, to be honest with you. They're petrified of saying anything, and they talk in generalities. It's mad. Dombrowski bizarrely talks in his much as specifics, I think, as anybody. Right?
Yeah. And I think the biggest move of today is probably Don Mattingly going to be their bench coach.
Well, even then,
but he just offered it.
right? But even then,
He just said, "Yeah, we're close to a deal."
most GMs or whatever would say, "Yeah, we're close on potentially filling a bench coach job." And would that be Don Mattingly? I can't say.
I can't say.
Yeah.
We don't know. I haven't gotten to that point yet. But we'll let you know. Like, you'll see when the release comes. But like, it was fast, and like he just said, "Yeah, we're close to a deal with Don Mattingly. We're hope to get it done soon." Like, okay, thanks. Like, wow, the writers actually have something to write. Like, that's great.
And then he's talking about specific guys who they might actually part ways with, right?
Yeah, he said Max Kepler gone. He said Nick Castellanos, we're still gone. We're trying to get him out of here. Like, and I'm just sitting there with like my jaw on the floor because I'm like, I haven't heard this.
Yeah.
In my years covering the game, you obviously heard it because you covered him. I got there right before he got whacked.
I mentioned this earlier. I still default to it was one of the all-timers where he says, and this was I think actually at the GM meetings that year, where he's like, we're going to sign an ace and we're going to trade for a closer.
Yeah.
And within a couple of weeks, they signed David Price and they traded for Craig Kimbrell.
Amazing.
And you basically and the great thing about covering that is that you don't have to guess. Like, we are guessing all over the place.
Oh gosh,
right?
it's such a.
Does it feel like? Can I ask you this? Does it feel like this offseason, maybe more than any, that the reporting is just way too generic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Like, I mean, even down to like where Kyle Tucker's gonna go, and I know somebody got that wrong, but it's fine. You know, it happens. But I mean, and again, like it's we're looking at this situation, we're saying, how can we make this sport more entertaining, right? And I think the entertainment value falls a lot of times in free agency. Like, if you look at basketball, like that's a season of its own, and it's like 3 days or whatever, 2 days. Like, they need to figure out. I know it's a lot more roster spots, but I think they need to figure out a way to minimize the amount of days that guys can be free agents in baseball to make it a little bit more entertaining for the fan base.
That's why the lockout was awesome. It's like, I said the lockout was awesome, like the saying COVID was awesome. But like the lockout was awesome because you had the deadline. Everyone knew that was an awesome offseason, but the players will never go for it. No. We need to do it on our timetable.
Yeah, and I think that's why you have us here sitting in, on day one, whatever. And you did mention it's day one. Stuff doesn't happen on day one. We did see Soto get signed last year. We did see Ohtani years past. We did see Garrett Cole sign his huge contract as well. But we got to figure out a way to spice this up, Rob. I mean, me and you just can't be at the fulcrum of the entertainment value for the sport.
No, we are the most two entertaining people so far.
Absolutely.
I think if I did a power ranking of entertainment, we would be at the top of the list. Your jacket would be number one.
Yeah.
But I think that here's the problem. I think that the position players, like this is like based on position play. With all due respect to the Framber Valdez and Ranger Suarez families.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So doesn't get it done. And then one of the reporters asked Dombrowski, he's like, when was the last time you've seen there's be such a deficit in right-handed bats on the market? He was like, last year. So like, it goes to show you, he's like, you just can't find a right-handed bat. I mean, what are we looking at? Pete Alonso and Bregman. So
and Bichette.
Yeah.
But your point.
But again, like, we're looking at this and saying, there really aren't any real headliners this year, and I think that's part of the problem.
Well, I think also, like you say, okay, let's talk about Bichette, Bregman, Alonso, Schwarber. Okay, I'll put Tucker in there, even though sort of in Bellinger as well.
Yeah.
But I almost feel like, well, you got to get that.
Let me see.
Okay.
Hello? No. But
that was worth it.
Yeah. All right.
But
it's not Uber Eats. I don't think it's Uber Eats.
Okay.
There's no way they could keep going.
No. All right. Well, what did you order, by the way?
No. Some like Jamaican food. I love Jamaican food. No, it's not that. It says heading your way. 701 to 714.
All right, we're
false alarm.
Okay. Well, so Bregman and Bichette, they're going to be waiting on each other. Alonso and Schwarber, they're going to be waiting on each other. Like Tucker's probably just going to be holding out for an enormous. Probably Tucker and Bellinger, maybe they're waiting on each other. But it just feels like, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the time everyone listening that the floodgates will open. But it feels like this is going to be dragging out, which sucks.
Yeah.
Which sucks. But, at the same time, like, I look at if a guy is going to sign early, I still feel like, I don't know why I feel this way. Maybe you have a better sense because you just came from the Phillies thing. I feel like Schwarber, is going to, just, I don't know. I don't know why I feel. Bichette isn't going to be that guy.
Yeah.
Bregman isn't going to be that guy.
Yeah.
Alonso, I think, probably wants to be that guy, but can't be that guy. Anyway, am I wrong? Tell me why I'm wrong. I don't know.
No, you're not wrong in the sense of you think he's going to be the first person to sign.
I feel like Schwarber.
But you know what? I think you're pulling on his personality.
Yes.
He's not the type of guy to be with all this commotion and attention and where is he going to go? He's like, dude, give me my money. I want to play. You know what I mean? It's really no It's no BS with that guy.
So what's the sense? What's the vibe you get from? You mentioned a little bit about Dombrowski. What's the vibe you get when it comes to his take on Schwarber?
I genuinely think he doesn't know, and I genuinely think that because you never hear him say that.
Yeah.
But look, I think they figure out a way to get that done because you look at that lineup, right? They're already very lefty dominant, and most of their power comes from the left hand side. They don't have much power from them. Alec Boehm, he doesn't get it done, right? Like Trey Turner, he's not a home run hitter. They were talking to Ron Thompson about it in there. He was like, do you teach guys to hit for power? He's like, no, that's because that's where you get bad habits. If they hit for power, they hit for power. A lot of times you are who you are. So they need that bat, right? They talk about right-handed hitters, but they need a left-handed hitter with some thump too.
And also, you talk about turning that thing, giving the enema to that roster. What you don't need, people forget, Julian. This team was like the best team in baseball for half the year, basically.
Yeah.
And everyone was applauding them for what a great clubhouse they have, what this and that, and you can't. You got to be carefully blowing that up.
Yeah. But I think Dombrowski's basically saying hey, we're going to give them a competitive offer, but the ball essentially in their court. That's what it sounded like. But there is going to be, I think, them depending on younger talent for them to get them through. And I don't think it's a situation where it's hey, we're going to let these guys develop at the big league level. And sure, that's going to happen naturally, but I think Dombrowski genuinely thinks these guys can come up and contribute.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the type where it's all about winning now.
No.
So if you had to, is there anything else roaming the hallways other than the overpriced food or the well-meaning job seekers or the gazing out the window, seeing the lazy river, saying by Thursday I'm going to be on one of those inner tubes floating around.
Yeah.
Anything else pop off here?
We got to let it simmer for a little bit. Once it simmers, once we let it sit,
by the time we let it
come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
There will be something. Something is going to happen tomorrow.
You think Tuesday?
Yeah, I think guys are just getting settled in, Rob. To be honest, because I'm texting around and they're saying, little small stuff, but nothing too momentous that's going on here.
I do feel like people want to do stuff.
Yeah.
That's a stupid statement.
But the problem is, they all have the same formula.
I know.
That's the problem.
You know what? So I'll give you one of the things that was interesting to me is, the Twins taking the stance. Obviously, they're saying that they're holding on to Joe Ryan and Pablo Lopez, right? Now, we know they can say that and that can change. But I think if you're going to compare that, let's say take Joe Ryan compared to Crochet, it is different. It's totally different because the White Sox at this time, they were basically, right now, we know we're going to trade them by the end of the week, and we're just going to take one of the best of the 5 offers.
Right.
The Twins are saying, if you want to blow us away, sure, we'll trade them. That's fine. But nobody's blowing them away right now.
No.
And I think that's another thing is that you look at, for instance, the Red Sox. with Joe Ryan. They supposedly, they wanted him at the deadline, but this is another part of it. Just because you think you're blowing them away, they don't necessarily think you're getting blown away.
Just because you think you have the prospects doesn't think that teams value prospects differently, and I think we know historically the Red Sox have a tendency to overrate their prospects.
Yeah.
I mean, Yankees have that thing too. Perhaps it's the markets, perhaps it's whatever, but like there's a history of that. I mean, how many of these prospects have actually come out?
You know what the Yankees did
out?
for a while, which is a talent, which is hyping up their prospects.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll go back before you were born.
Ooh.
John Sherholz, the Atlanta Braves.
Ooh.
They were elite at it. Elite.
Really?
Oh, there's a guy named what's his name? Marte, Andy Marte, who was the number one prospect in prospect in baseball, and everyone came to realize he couldn't play.
Yeah.
R.I.P. by the way to Andy Marte, but they traded him, they dealt him, they did a great job. The Yankees did a great job for years in that. That is an unbelievable talent. But the problem now is I think that there's too much information. You can't do that.
Too much information, and again, like you said, it's around the league now. Everybody hypes up their prospects. It's because we're prospect whores now.
Yeah, I guess.
Everybody's like it's become this transactional business where we're into the building of the farm system versus the building of the team. Everybody tries to be the genius.
Yeah, and they say our goal is to win the World Series, but ultimately, do they really feel like that's the goal? I will say this: my favorite team, because maybe I feel bad for them, is still the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah, it's my favorite team too.
It's like because their story is so awesome, and they're going to be celebrated on Tuesday with Dylan Cease, and good for them. And they also understood, like, hey, listen, we need pitching, so Dylan Cease isn't the perfect pitcher, but he's head and shoulder the best pitcher we can get.
Right, let's just go out and get it.
Let's just go out and get it.
We got the money. Let's just go out and get it.
It took us some time. We did all the bullshit shit, like under the hood shit, like the building the Oz out in Dunedin. And so you did all that. Now you got to the doorstep, and Ohtani's visiting Dunedin, Sasaki visiting. So you're almost there. Then boom, you actually show everybody. It's pretty awesome. You were up in Toronto. It's pretty awesome to be up in Toronto and to win up there, to have all the facilities. And so now, not only do we have all that, but we have as much money as they are. And no one wants to say this, but they're not at the level of the Dodgers, but they're not far off. Like that. That's the model.
And look, and the Dodgers are getting older, right? They're going to have to figure out a way to retool as well. I mean, what's Mookie going to be, 33 years old? Vlad Jr.'s in a good space. If they re-sign Bo Bichette, he's in a good space. Like, those guys are coming, I think. And I think they're going to be here for a long while. And, I mean, and good for them. But again, like, I think one thing you didn't mention, though, is Canadian dollars. So it's a little bit different.
Go take a look at Dylan Cease's contract.
Yeah,
I bet right. There's like,
and he probably lives in Arizona.
Well, no, he lives in he's paid in Florida. It's like it's all a thing.
Yeah.
There's
ways around it.
It's not like when you and I are going to the Loose
and
Moose.
He said, the one thing I love about here is that it says $60, but it's actually $40.
But it was true.
It tricks your mind.
And then we went from the cheapest place in the world to Vegas, which was like, oh my God, everything But yeah, so I'm in love with Canada. Put it on the bumper sticker.
Yeah, put it on the bumper stickers. Although that Lucy's Place's menu left a lot to be desired.
With the Loose Moose?
Yeah, loose. I said Lucy's. Loose Moose.
Yeah, well, yeah, whatever. Go with what you can. But I will say this, is that, so in synopsis, unless you want to keep talking about your suit, I mean, in synopsis, day one of the winter meetings was about probably what we expected.
Yeah.
We just forget how long these days are.
They are.
Yeah.
Very long. And I got to get out of this suit. So after this, I'm going home. Going back to the hotel.
But you go back, but what people don't know, and this is why you and other writers are such warriors. So
you go back out.
You got to go back out.
Got to go back out.
You have to go to the
Can't
bar.
be glued to your seat like people over there.
No, you're not.
No,
you can't go be eating Cliff Bars and Diet Cokes.
Yeah,
and your seat.
yeah.
You have to. you have to do all your reporting throughout the day, and then you have to go drink alcohol or soda pop or whatever you want at night just to mingle and talk. But you know why, Julian? I know what'll happen if I stay and just watch TV. I don't know what'll happen if I go talk to somebody.
Amen.
Thank you. All right. Good job.